Afghan Minister Amir Muttaqi's visit to India has rattled Pakistan. Reports say Pakistan struck Kabul this morning, targeting leader of the Pakistan Taliban Noor Wali Mehsud. This comes on the same day as the Afghan Foreign Minister's meeting with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. Hours after the alleged strikes, New Delhi and Kabul have reaffirmed their ties, joining hands against cross-border terror. India and Afghanistan have vowed to combat terrorism together. And in a major boost in ties, Jaishankar told the visiting Taliban minister in New Delhi will reopen its embassy in Kabul. The Afghan minister pledged that Kabul will not allow its land to be used for anti-India activities, calling cross-border terror a recurring menace. Muttaqi said India has always been a close friend, emphasizing that ties are rooted in mutual respect. Earlier, Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif accused Afghanistan of betraying Pakistan in spite of receiving benefits and said Afghans have always stood with India yesterday, today and tomorrow.
We will not allow any group to threaten anyone else or use the territory of Afghanistan against others. Daesh is a challenge for the region, and Afghanistan is at the front lines of this struggle. Luckily, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, its forces and its strong struggle against it has eradicated it from Afghanistan. The need of our region is that we combat this menace together. And this is a need for the common prosperity of both nations. This visit will increase or strengthen the understanding between both countries and open a new chapter between these relations. We hope that Afghanistan and India, on an official level and in different areas, increase their engagements and exchanges. We hope that through talks and dialogue we can increase the level of understanding between us.
India is fully committed to the sovereignty, territorial integrity and independence of Afghanistan. Closer cooperation between us contributes to your national development as well as regional stability and resilience. To enhance that, I am pleased to announce today the upgrading of India's technical mission in Kabul to the status of Embassy of India. Excellency, we have a common commitment towards growth and prosperity. However, these are endangered by the shared threat of cross-border terrorism that both our nations face. We must coordinate efforts to combat terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. We appreciate your sensitivity towards India's security concerns.
जिस मट्टी में से उनको फायदा मिल रहा है, जिस मुल्क से, जिस सरजमीन से उनको फायदा मिल रहा है, उस मुल्क के साथ दुश्मनी कर रहे हैं। सर, ये अब बर्दाश्त नहीं होगा। हमें यकसू होके मिनासुल कौम जो है जवाब देना पड़ेगा इन लोगों को जो उनको पनाहगाहें मुयस्सर करते हैं, चाहे वो हमारी सरजमीन पे हैं या वो अफगानिस्तान की सरजमीन के ऊपर हैं। इसमें किसी को कोई शक नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर किसी गांव से या किसी पनाहगाह से 4 या 5 या 10 या 15 आदमी निकल के हमारे किसी फौजी काफले के ऊपर जो है हमला करते हैं, उसका जवाब जो है हो सकता है सबको सब साथ कोलैटरल डैमेज भी हो, उसको सबको सब भुगतना पड़ेगा। जहाँ पे उनकी पनाहगाहें होंगी उनको भी भुगतना पड़ेगा और जो लोग उनको पनाहगाह देते हैं उनको भी भुगतना पड़ेगा। इनफ इज इनफ। ये अब जो हमारे सब्र का पैमाना जो है पाकिस्तान की हुकूमत का, पाकिस्तान की अफवाज का जो है लबरेज हो चुका है। हम अपनी अफवाज के साथ इस मसले पे खड़े हैं।
All right, let's get you up to speed with the big takeaways of S. Jaishankar Muttaqi meeting in the national capital. Number one takeaway is that India has announced reopening of Kabul embassy. Also, India-Afghanistan to combat terrorism together is what has now been promised. Muttaqi says no anti-India activities on Afghan soil. India is vowing to support Afghan education and cricket like we've always done. India reaffirming commitment to Kabul's sovereignty is something that we are looking at very closely, and as far as both the countries are concerned, New Delhi, Kabul reaffirm ties based on mutual respect. Our managing editor, Gaurav Sawant, getting in more details in that big story that he is tracking. Gaurav, talk to us about how India is viewing this renewed tie with Afghanistan in the backdrop of the Taliban rule there, and also the promise to reopen the Indian embassy. Of course, there have been huge amount of concern when it comes to security, isn't it, in the well-being of our people there?
Security does remain a concern, but this is an extremely significant step that India has taken, not only reopening India's embassy in Kabul, but also strengthening our bonds with the people of Afghanistan. The fact that India has always been committed to the development of Afghanistan and for the betterment of the people of Afghanistan. So one step that Dr. Jaishankar spoke of are 20 ambulances that have been given to Kabul, and 5 which would be given to Afghanistan's foreign minister right away as a token, as a gesture. That's point 1. Point 2, healthcare. Point 3, infrastructure development, maintenance of infrastructure that's already been built, and there is a lot from the Salma Dam to the Zaranj-Dilaram Highway to the Parliament to the schools to the hospitals. There's a lot that India has already done. There are some steps that are that were midway when Taliban took over, and those projects were stalled. Now those projects will start again on the request of the Taliban government in Afghanistan, and new projects that Afghanistan wants India to undertake, they would be studied and action would be taken. But look at the contrast. India gives health, Pakistan gives death. Pakistan is bombing Afghanistan. India is providing medicines. India is providing vaccines. India is providing cancer healthcare, MRI machines, CT scan machines, all of that for the betterment of the people of Afghanistan. Education, healthcare, sports, these are areas where India is helping Afghanistan grow. Pakistan spreads only terror, death, and destruction.
You know, the irony is that the statement being made by Defence Minister clearly, speaks volumes of that discomfort with these meetings between India and Afghanistan. It's true that we've always been there for the Afghanis, haven't we, Gaurav? Throughout history, in Pakistan today is clearly indicating that they aren't happy with what they're seeing before themselves as far as the renewed bonhomie between India and Afghanistan here is concerned.
The difference between the people of India and the leadership in Pakistan couldn't be more stark. The leadership in India and the leadership in Pakistan. India is helping Afghanistan become stronger. Pakistan only wants to use Afghanistan as strategic depth. It wanted to use their people as terrorists. Remember when IC-814 was hijacked and that aircraft was taken to Kandahar, Pakistan wanted to use that territory for that Maulana of terror, Masood Azhar, to escape, come back in Pakistan, and then set up a radical Islamist terrorist organization called Jaish-e-Mohammed that's been bleeding India for decades. On the other hand, the same Pakistan trained terrorists on its territory and in Afghanistan. But when the people of Afghanistan resented that, do keep in mind that Afghanistan does not recognize the Durand line or the line that divides Afghanistan and Pakistan. And that is why, for the Afghans, their kingdom or their country extends beyond Peshawar and is not restricted to the Durand line. But they also call Pakistan an artificial creation. They say, ek taraf Afghanistan, dusri taraf Hindustan, kahan se aaya Pakistan. And all of this is something that Pakistan does not accept when it trained, armed and launched terrorists from the Northwest Frontier province into Afghanistan and in India. Remember, now what Pakistan is doing is using Lashkar-e-Taiba and Islamic State Khorasan to target the Taliban, the same Taliban that it nurtured for decades, shielded them, and now is trying to destroy them using other organizations like the Al-Qaeda, like ISKP, and like Lashkar-e-Taiba. So it just goes on to show the difference between India and Pakistan. India gives health, India gives medicines, and Pakistan gives only terror, death, and destruction.
Leave it at that, Gaurav Sawant getting in those details and, of course, putting that important story into perspective.